The team from PPDC made it just in time this morning for us to examine another major conversation of interest on a day like this. Yes, I tell you this, ranking to boost compliance in public procurement. That's what we'll be discussing for the next 30 minutes or thereabout. Vershima, the technical lead for PPDC, haven't done a rehearsal of his name like 3-4 times. Eventually, I think I come close. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You may need to turn the mic towards you.
Okay.
And you will not mind if I call you bro plenty times as against calling you your name.
No worries, it's fine.
Do you want to pronounce your name again?
Vershima.
Vershima, okay. Vershima Tingir.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm close. And of course, Nneka Odenigbo is also here. Oh, sorry, ma. Sorry on behalf of this. Odenigbo. Okay, what's it? Odenigbo. Oh, okay. Program Officer President Lab is also here with us this morning on to discuss ranking to boost compliance in public procurement. Glad you both can join in this very morning. Let's start off our conversation by talking about why is transparency in procurement important and what role has PPDC played in this process. Let me start with you. You're the technical lead, Vershima, with regards to PPDC. Why is this so important?
Thanks for the question. So let's just put it this way. When we talk about public procurement, it's government purchasing or acquiring goods and services for citizens. So what that means is that the government is purchasing, acquiring these goods and services on behalf of the citizens. So the citizens are, the people who are, receiving this product. So now imagine in a situation where you give somebody money to purchase something for you, and then you don't have any saying what is being purchased or whom is being purchased from or the amount that is being purchased for. So when we talk about transparency, it is important because we are the people who are receiving the goods and services. We have to, have a say in how this procurement is done, which is why transparency is very important.
Well, transparency is on, but just to deviate a little bit, over the years it appears we become transparent, then we become opaque and transparent again, at least by perception. I'm not saying I can accurately measure that. There's always this perception that we're now moving towards a transparency level, better than maybe a year before in governance and in some other MDAs. But what you just spoke about open contracting compliance ranking that PPDC organized, and can this be more elaborate? Can you provide whether we've gone more opaque or more transparent? What do you think, Nneka?
Thank you for that question. So during the ranking, we realized that most of these MDAs do not publish their procurement data from start to finish, because we have Nigeria has an e-procurement website where MDAs are supposed to publish their procurement data from start to finish, from the planning, tendering, and so on. But we realized that most of these MDAs do not have the complete data. Those who have the complete data are very minimal, which is not enough. We want Nigeria to be a country where the citizens trust the government, right? So when this data is not available for the citizens to scrutinize, to see how the public funds are being spent, then we can't say that we're already at that level yet. We're getting there, but I'm not sure we are close yet.
Oh, we're not close yet. No. So how does this ranking work? I know you worked on the research. Before we come to talk about, 2s and 3s may not do this service to actually talk about what the detail of the work that was done. But can you guys describe a little bit how the ranking was done? A little bit. Vershima, you want to share that with us? How the ranking was done?
Yes. Thank you. So, in essence, the ranking was ranking federal government MDAs according to their compliance to publishing data on this open contracting portal that Nneka talked about. So for us to be able to do this ranking, we came up with a methodology which is basically the completeness index. So we looked at the data that is supposed to be published on this portal, and then the ranking was basically done in terms of looking at how much of the data that ought to be on the portal, you know, the MDAs are currently publishing, as according to you know, the open contracting data standards that the portal has been that was built on. And for us to be able to do this ranking, we didn't do it alone. We worked with other stakeholders in open contracting in Nigeria, especially people under the Procurement Monitoring Working Group, under the Open Government Partnership, to come up with this methodology. And then after, you know, we developed this methodology, we extracted the data from the open contracting portal, reviewed it, and, you know, looked at how MDAs are complying according to that data. And from there, we're able to come up with, you know, a comprehensive ranking of all the MDAs that are currently publishing data on the portal. And for this ranking, we looked at 2019 records and then 2020 procurement plans.
Interesting that you do bring that up. So, Nneka, you worked on the research, but I will tell you this: I've hardly seen any government MDA site that doesn't cost millions of naira to make a website. And sometimes when you do, am I being sincere here? The budgetary allocation looks very, very large, and when you get there, you find it sometimes just difficult to navigate to what you're looking for. So I can imagine how much data you have to bury yourself in when you look at these portals to find out exactly what was there, what was dumped there. You know, there's another thing to put something, to upload something, there's another thing to have something dumped on the website. So what was it like researching this to understand the transparency level which some of the NDAs were keen on having?
Okay, thank you. So how we were able to determine this by trying to find out what makes the MDA comply to open contracting and what makes them not to comply. So we interviewed like a handful of MDAs, you know, to look at the landscape to see what is making them comply, what is impeding their compliance, and what is influencing it in terms of relationships and other things. So we found out that these MDAs are not complying because they do not have the skill. Most of them do not have the capacity to be able to upload these data on the website. That's one. There's this gap, capacity gap. So we all know that staff are being transferred from one MDA to the other. So when this staff has that skill and then he's transferred to another MDA, there's that gap there.
Oh dear.
So they get trained yearly by Bureau of Public Procurement, but based on what we found out, they say it's not enough, because one training per year is not enough for them, because they get new staff, they get new things coming in, you know, new advancements, let me put it that way, but that one training is not enough. So, and we also found out that the internal capacity is not there. Some of them say it's because they are not funded for that. There's no money for the training. But how do we budget for an entire organization and we don't budget for their training? Because capacity building is what helps an organization grow. So once there is that consistency in capacity building, you know, trying to improve on your knowledge, trying to improve on the things to help you to, you know, to be more efficient in your service delivery, then we can say that once that is there, then, you know, we'll be getting there definitely.
And it brings, let me come back to Vershima, because you know, it's so important to understand this very ranking. So oftentimes, every time a ranking comes out, traditionally, it's disputed to ask about, we're not this bad. I'm not as bad as you're portraying me, usually because most rankings always put people on the lower part as regards performance. But let's go back into the question around ranking and the process, the methodology that was used. You're a technical person, so apart from the output which we see in the infographics, the articles, the built around it, there's always that need also to understand what methodology was used,
staff, as a way of supporting each other and ensuring that this space is, is improved. The whole open contracting processes are improved, and everyone is updating their data as they should be updating it.
Right, well, they should be updating their data as often as one could possibly want them to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to go because we're pressed for time now. There are a few things also coming up. How can people find out more about this ranking? Where do we look? Where do we press? What do we check? Is it mobile compliant? Is there an app for it? And the likes of that?
Yeah, so we have a link where people can go to access the ranking and details of the ranking. It's on www.budeshi.ng/OCCR-ranking. So let me just take that again, www.budeshi.ng/OCCR-ranking. So all the details of the rankings are there. All the MDAs that have been ranked are there, and you can also use it as a tool to carry out some sort of analysis and comparisons between the different MDAs that were ranked.
Do you mind if you spell Budeshi for me again? I'm trying to spell it through here.
Okay, Budeshi.
SHI. All right, well, that will get them through budeshi.ng, and then we'll navigate / down there. I hope you don't mind. I know you're a tech person, it comes easy for you. But Nneka, just before we round off.
Yes, and also for the websites where we can access the government data, where they are uploading it, it's open to the citizens also. It's the NOCOPO, the Nigerian Open Contracting Portal, NOCOPO, NOCOPO.com.ng. .gov.ng.
Why are you laughing now? I didn't say anything yet. But for the purpose of those of us who always look for the alphabets on our phones and our keyboards, do you mind spelling that again?
Okay, NOCOPO.gov.ng.
All right, that sounds good enough. All right, well, that's something. But to go by and to go with, okay. Well, so much has been said about ranking to boost compliance in public procurement. You think your MDA can do better, should do better, how they need to do better, or even the need to look into how they can be better? Well, my guests have been Vershima, Tingir, tech leader, PPDC, Nneka. I should eat some white soup. I usually do well with Igbo names when I eat white soup. I do well. Okay. She's also the program officer for Present Lab. And yes, we've been talking about transparency procurement. We've been talking about ranking to boost compliance in public procurement and the likes of this. And of course, I have to say a big thank you to PPDC for allowing us to have this conversation this very morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Stay with us right here on Nigerian for 95.1. There's more to come on this show.
Thank you.